This is an early morning recording session. Yo, what's going on, everybody? This week we're gonna be watching the final movie in the original Scream trilogy, the conclusion of that trilogy of films. Ghostface Takes Hollywood, Scream 3. First thing, obviously I said this wasn't my favorite. It's still not my favorite after watching it. I think it's maybe a little bit better than I gave it credit for, but I'm still gonna be a hater in this video, so just brace yourself for that. Still not a bad movie, I don't think, by any means. I think it's just not my favorite. I find it enjoyable. I got a couple complaints with it, but I'll get to those as I get to them. A couple things I want to mention before we get into the movie itself. The script got rewritten a whole bunch of times, and then after the Columbine high school shooting, it kind of had to be completely reworked, this time done by a different writer. So this was the first Scream movie not written by Kevin Williamson. This was written by Aaron Kruger, who I believe he's on the next one too, but he's pretty okay. I just think maybe he didn't have the best to work with on this one. Other than that, let's get right into Scream 3. I'm trying to think of a Hollywood. Let's get let's just watch the movie. I don't know. Opening scene is Cotton Weary. He is now a TV talk show host. He hosts his own show called 100% Cotton, and he's talking about being in a stab movie. He's just supposed to be like an opening kill cameo. He's not too happy about that, but he is on the phone with this, I guess it's like his manager, and he gets a call from this lady, supposed to be a pretty lady, but she's a Ghostface lady, and she is in his house stalking his girlfriend, being a perv through the shower. He doesn't like that, so he speeds home. He's flying, but while he's on his way home, Ghostface attacks Christine, his girlfriend. But in this movie, Ghostface has a voice changer that can change his voice to anybody. He uses that to his advantage, and basically tricks her into thinking that the guy trying to kill her in the Ghostface costume is Cotton Weary. So when he does get there, she hits him with a fucking club or some shit. I don't remember what she hits him with, but she hits him with something, and they're not on the same page. This ends up with both of them getting shish kebabbed after Ghostface attacks, and they put up a bit of a fight, but in the end, Ghostface overpowers him. So R.I.P. the Goat Cotton, and R.I.P. Christine, his girlfriend that we saw for all of 2 minutes. I do think it was a good idea to kill Cotton. He's been around since the first one, even though he was just a plot point in the first one. You got to kill some returning characters. Got to have the stakes a bit higher. I also think his story was kind of wrapped. Just his arc of, being freed and like getting his kind of closure for getting his life ruined for a year. Now we see Sidney Prescott back for the third movie, Neve Campbell. Just want to give Sidney her props. Neve does a phenomenal job in all these movies. I don't mention it enough. I always mention Dewey and Randy and Gail, whatever, but shout out Neve Campbell. She does really good. She's on lockdown. She's not about none of that shit. She is locked in a house, alarm, locks, a dog, everything, and she's doing a women's counseling like phone line thing. She's using a different name, just helping women in tough situations, which is cool. It's cool to see what Sydney's doing now, using her like experience with trauma and helping other people with it. She is not in this movie as much as any of the other ones that she's in, to be honest. She didn't want to come back at first. She didn't want to be like stuck in that role, but she ended up coming back, which is great. So she does spend a lot of time isolated from the rest of the people. She spends a lot of the time in her house, just by herself most of the time. We go to Gail, who's doing some sort of speaking thing where she's talking to people. Then we meet Detective Mark Kincaid. Also, Gail, who did that to you? Detective Mark Kincaid. He is coming to Gail basically like, Cotton's dead, and the killer left this picture. Do you know who this is? And she says, obviously, it's Maureen Prescott. She knows who Maureen Prescott is. She obviously wrote a book about her. That kind of leads into her going to the set of Stab 3, which we learn is called Return to Woodsboro. This is supposed to be more of a fictionalized version of a Stab movie. we find out later that like people who don't die in real life die in the script. Like Gale dies in the script, and people like that. Which we also, now that I think about it, could have been Roman kind of teasing the order he wanted to kill people in if he's the one writing it. I don't know if he's the one writing it or not. She's coming in, she has like a camera in her bag or whatever, and just trying to get a scoop, you know. Dewey comes and is like working there on the set. He's like a technical advisor, I think. Later, they have a conversation where like we find out they just broke up because they were too different. She was going all over the place trying to do a bunch of different stuff, 60 Minutes, whatever. And they were just too different. He wanted to stay in Woodsboro. That whole conversation is a really good conversation. Obviously, I don't want to play the clip and I don't want to sit here and read the shit. So, if you haven't watched this movie, this 25-year-old movie, go watch it. It has good moments. Then we meet our killer. So I'm just gonna spoil it for you. We meet our killer, Roman Bridger, the director of the film, and we meet John Milton. Who these are two important characters, obviously Roman, and then John Milton is the producer of the film, who ties in later with Marine and just the Hollywood theme of everything in this movie. He's just whining about his movie possibly getting shut down because of the stabbings. Yeah, you're doing them yourself, man. And I know this is just to cover his ass, but I do want to say he's a crybaby. He's kind of whiny in this movie, and I think it almost gives away who Ghostface is in a way, because I feel like he's the only character that's doing the temper tantrum, and Ghostface does do some temper tantrums in this movie. Besides those guys, we meet like some of the cast of Stab 3. We get like Tyson, who plays, I think, a Randy stand-in. We get Tom, who plays Dewey, Angelina Tyler, who plays Sydney, and then Sarah Darling plays a character called Candy, who I think is just maybe like a Tatum type. I don't know, just kind of a bubbly person. They're just talking, just going over some normal stab stuff because people are now getting really stabbed and they're worried. Another character that we meet is Jennifer Jolie, who is with Dewey. He's kind of there protecting her on the set. She's really good in this movie. She's playing Gale Weathers. She's dripped out in the Scream 1 fit, the bright ass yellow suit, and I think she's probably my favorite character in this movie. He is there as kind of the Gale stand-in for Dewey, someone to vent to a little bit. Parker Posey did phenomenal in this. She's funny. She's like she's a pretty charming character in terms of how she interacts with people. My brain is not processed. To Sid, she has some creepy ghost mom stuff where she's like dreaming and seeing her ghost mom walk up in the window. Creepy as fuck. Might be the like creepiest thing in Scream so far. And it's weird dream sequence stuff, but I don't mind. It kind of gives like when she's at the Woodsboro set later, it kind of starts making people think like maybe she's just seeing shit. Which no, she's not. I don't know why we're doing that at this point when she's already been attacked like twice. Here we get the second kill of the movie. Roman calls Sarah Darling. I'm just gonna say Roman. I know technically in the movie for a second they think it's not Roman, but it is Roman. So Roman calls her to the set, Sarah Darling, and is like, hey, we gotta go over lines. So they're going. She comes up there and doesn't know where he's at. So for some reason he's going through lines over the phone when he could have just done that with her from like the crib when like she didn't have to come up there. But obviously it's a trap. She talks about the rewrites, which is kind of a statement on the state of the real film. People were getting pissed because they kept rewriting shit. But it's leaks, man. Leaks happen, especially with Scream movies. Holy shit. Ghostface calls her. The call just switches to Ghostface. It's really just Roman doing a Ghostface. She kind of gets freaked out, so she's running around. She goes in this prop room with a bunch of Ghostface costumes. It's kind of freaky. I like this where you don't really know. You know one of them is Ghostface, but you don't know which one until it starts moving. She gets attacked. Her only thing is to grab fake weapons that are like flimsy as fuck, that she could have just grabbed one of the big ass like props that she could just throw at him, but he gets the best of her, takes her out. So R.I.P. Sarah Darling. I do want to say I don't really care about this kill. It's cool, I guess, and I do like the prop stuff, but I don't really care about Sarah Darling at all. I know you don't necessarily have to care about, or like you don't have to see somebody a lot to care about them when they die, but I think it's just a thing of, I don't think they properly even really introduced you to her. They did a little bit, but it's like it just feels weird that she's the first to go before she really gets any more. She's like 2 lines. Louis is sus, thinking it's somebody on the film. I guess some files got raided about Sydney. They were trying to find her, and he had to take them out. And now he's sus of the people on the film, which is valid, especially when we know who it is. Then Jennifer Jolie is freaking out because Gail's the next to die in the script that she has. Obviously, we know after Mark Kincaid says that there's multiple different scripts because of leaks, so we don't know which one the killer has. So it could not be her, but she's freaking out. Her bodyguard is Joe Swanson. Shout out Joe Swanson. He's a dickhead. They dropped a second picture of Marine at the second killings, so now they're really sus of it. Gail and Dewey do their researching, and Gail basically is like, hey, Marine was in Woodsboro, and then 2 years before she met Neil, she just goes completely off the grid. Nobody knows anything about where she was, about who she was, whatever, what she was doing. This is where they start getting like, hey, maybe this is connected. Like connected as in what she was doing in those 2 years is leading us to what's going on right now. Dewey was looking at a headshot of Jennifer Jolie and noticed, hey, that picture, like background, lines up with one of these pictures we have of Marine. And okay, why is she lined up in the, it's like not even a little bit different. It's like they're in the same headshot area, same background, everything. Roman is livid. Stab is getting shut down because of all these killings. Dude, again, you're doing it. Stop doing it. The phone calls came from him. Everybody has, like, Candy's or Sarah's like roommate says, hey, yeah, no, he called her and told her to come there. You're looking at him. The voice changer allows us to believe that it's not Roman because he can clone voices and stuff, but we just know it's Roman. So yeah, killer called Sydney, so he found him, or he found her somehow, but he was using, I just wanted to bring this up obviously because it's, you know, the killer finding Sydney, but also he somehow with his voice changer got a dead woman's voice. That's just fucked up. So Joe Swanson got stabbed. He somehow died. Or, well, no. So Joe Swanson got stabbed in the trailer and then walked his happy ass all the way over to there just so that he could die in front of everybody. And then the power goes out. So everybody's fucking freaked out now. And by everybody, I mean Gail, Dewey, Jennifer, Angelina, and Tom, which is Dewey's actor. They run outside. Then there's a fax machine that goes off, comes back in. This is probably my least favorite kill. Well, my least favorite little part. Yeah, so Ghostface is faxing them a new script as they do stuff, which is kind of a cool idea until the kill happens where there was some gas or something in the house or on the paper or whatever it was, and they were basically saying, like Ghostface was saying, one of y'all is going to survive, which one am I going to not kill? And it's going to be whoever is in the script, which is him writing the script. And so Tom goes back in and wants to see who's the one that's going to survive. And he uses a lighter instead of the flashlight that they had like 15 seconds ago, and kablooies the whole house because there was some gas somewhere in there, and it gave him it lit up for just enough time for him to read the script, and then he went boom. Kind of stupid, but I do like how he said one was going to survive and only one died. It did blow up the entire house though, so I'm assuming he was going to just blow them all up. The way that they avoided the Columbine stuff was that they didn't want people getting stabbed as much, and like, you know, the young person on young person violence. So instead, Ghostface was just gonna fucking blow everybody up. And I'm assuming he was trying to blow up everybody because he was, I guess he was trying to, like, I don't know. I'm assuming he was just hoping everybody was in the house, like all 5 of them. So it would have been funny when this happens, like they run and they all tumble down this hill. Jennifer Jolie is screaming the whole time down. I think it's hilarious. Gail gets attacked by Ghostface. Angelina's nowhere to be found. Gail gets like attacked, but Dewey shoots him. He eats those bullets, obviously bulletproof vest, but shit. He still finds time to leave his Marine flick at the scene. Angelina shows up a bit later, and they're all sus of her, but not before there's some boxing going on.
My lawyer liked that.
They're all sus of Angelina. The way she talks, she's so just like, I don't know, man. And later on, Sydney finds her like in a bathroom with the boots, with the mask, with the like everything, dude. It's crazy. I thought Sydney was smarter than that. Obviously, she's not the killer. She gets killed, but I think in maybe one of the scripts, and I think part of the scenes had been filmed where Angelina was gonna be a second killer, but it didn't happen that way. So I'm just going with the thought that she's not the killer. She could have been the second killer. Actually, my headcanon is that she is the second killer. This recent Marine IG flick is captioned with the "I killed her" quote. He killed her. So this new killer killed Marine Prescott, which we thought Billy Prescott. We thought Billy Loomis did it, Billy and Stu, but maybe not. And that's what Mark and Cage says. Hey, you think that, but maybe there's a third person. Maybe someone else was there. And yeah, valid point, Mark. I do like Patrick Dempsey in this movie. He's good. He has just the perfect amount of sus, but he still is like you feel kind of secure when he's with Sydney. Kincaid's kind of like pressing Dewey to tell, because like he thinks Dewey knows where Sydney is, and nobody knows where Sydney is at this point, besides a few people. And he's pressing Dewey. He's like threatening to arrest him.
Do you want to have this conversation with a polygraph? Is that a threat, detective? When it's a threat, you'll know it. Was that a threat?
He does sound a bit sus, wanting to like, he wants to know where she is so bad, but I think it is just to talk to her, because obviously this has something to do with her, so maybe she knows something about who's doing it. So I get what he's coming from. Not too long after that, they don't, like, Dewey doesn't even have to do anything, because Dewey's calling, she's not answering, but she just walks in the door. And I think that like, I don't know if it's delivery, but like David Arquette's acting when he sees Sydney, and like he's on the phone and he like double takes. The killer's found Sydney, so she's safer with people than all the way out there by herself. This is where Sydney finds out about the Marine stuff. She up until this point doesn't know that it's like that's being like that's going on, where the killer's leaving those pictures, but now she knows, and now she's 100% fucked up. Watch the fucking aliens line, Steven. Put it in. This next part, one of my favorite parts in the movie, as unrealistic as it is, this is where we meet Martha Meeks, who is the sister of Randy Meeks from Scream 2 and 1.
Tell me that's his ex-girlfriend, I'll shoot myself. It's Martha Meeks, Randy's sister.
And this is great. This is what I mentioned in the last episode of Randy left some tapes for us, which is just him basically giving the rules of a third movie if he was to pass. And this is something he made during Scream 2, and it's cool to see, even when he's literally speaking to Dewey through the screen, and they're having a conversation about, what's her name? Karen Kolchak. So Randy gives us the rules of a trilogy. It's basically, everything is off the table. So anybody can die, the killer's crazy, all that shit. I'm not that qualified to tell you. One thing he does say about the trilogies is the third movie, the sins of your past will come back and destroy you, which is a huge theme of this, like this movie specifically, but it kind of seems like the theme of all the movies. Every movie, the past has come back to haunt Sydney, even if it didn't directly involve her. So yeah, I like Randy a lot, even though him being in it, although this is better than the alternative of them just saying that he didn't die. It's a good send-off for him, so I like it.
So in closing, let me say good luck, Godspeed, and for some of you, I'll see you soon.
This is where we get my favorite duo in the movie, Jennifer Jolie and Gale teaming up, and or I guess Gale V1 and Gale V2 teaming up to basically do some investigative research on what the fuck is going on. Why can't we find anything about Maureen Prescott? We know there's archives or something. We get a Carrie Fisher cameo where she says that she looks like Carrie Fisher, but the one who got the role is who slept with George Lucas. They bring up sleeping with people a lot, like sleeping with producers and stuff, which foreshadowing. But I think just I love Carrie Fisher so much, man. It's just fun to have her in this. It's cool to see her because obviously she's passed now. We got Gale Weathers and Gale Weathers on the scene. Carrie Fisher basically says, "You're looking for the wrong person." They're all looking for the wrong person because when she was in Hollywood, her name was Rena Reynolds. They had to bribe this information out of her, the Gales. And now that they know who she actually was, they can look into the movies that she was in, which then leads them to John Milton, who is the producer of all those movies. So now they're like, okay, now he has to know something. So that's when they go to find him.
Rena Reynolds. They will.
Rena Reynolds. Stage name.
You should talk, Judy Jurgenstern.
The next Ghostface attack is on the set of Stab 3. This set is crazy. So it's supposed to be a return to Woodsboro. I don't know. I'm assuming maybe that the only reason that it's set up how it is because of Roman is, trying to get Sidney in there. Another reason that I think Angelina was the killer is this scene happens directly after the scene I mentioned earlier with the Angelina in the bathroom. And Angelina goes out and basically leads Sidney. She leaves her hairbrush and it basically leads Sidney out into the set. So if she was a Ghostface, that's just luring her out there. But Sidney gets attacked. This whole setup, like this whole set is set up to like a Stu Macher house with like even Tatum's blood stain on the like cat door in the garage. There's Sidney's room set up like when she was talking to Billy in the first movie. The only thing different is I'm assuming this is Maureen Prescott and Neil Prescott's room has a crime scene in it or I guess the setup crime scene of Maureen's murder. And this is fucking tough to look at, I'm not gonna lie. Just knowing what happened to her and also knowing like how accurate it probably is. Roman was there. Like we find out later Roman was setting it up. So he would know. And it's so tough. Ghostface pops up and is like chasing her. He attacks her. They're running around. She's going through the set of Scream-A-THON, like her old house. It's kind of cool to see. She's like throwing the cart down the stairs and stuff again. And then she kind of tricks Ghostface and gets away eventually. And she's screaming for Dewey this whole time. It's tough. She's fucked up. Dewey finds her. They're all looking. I don't necessarily know if they don't believe her or what, because they think she's crazy, but she is definitely freaked out, and they go searching for him. We get the confrontation of John Milton. So this trio of Dewey, Gale, and Jennifer Jolie is fucking amazing. They all bounce off each other so well, and like they both bring out, like, obviously they're two different people, so they bring out different sides of Dewey, and it just makes it all around fun environment, even though they're talking about such terrible things. Roman's in there whining and crying about his movie and his reputation, blah blah blah, doing Roman shit. And they pull up and they're like, "Hey, John Milton, what the fuck is going on? What do you know about Rena Reynolds? What was going on?" And after some threats from Gale about leaking everything, he basically says, we used to throw these parties for upcoming actresses who would do things to get parts. This is crazy because if you don't know who produced Scream, I don't know which Screams, I think maybe the first 4, Harvey Weinstein did that, and his whole company, which I'm not going to say too much about Harvey Weinstein, but he's not a good man, and he did these same things, so I'm shocked that they let this get out, like that they put this out. I almost think it might have been a thing of, yeah, I'm getting away with it, I can even make a movie about it, and oh man. He basically straight up says Rena was taken advantage of, and Roman later says that he let that happen to her. So Yeah, John Milton's a fucked up dude. I don't like him at all. And honestly, I don't even feel bad when Roman slits his throat later. Honestly, that's the best thing Roman does in the movie. Kincaid seems to know a lot about movies, so Sid might be picking up on him a little bit. Again, I want to mention how good Neve Campbell is. She's just so good in these little subtle conversation moments and letting you know how she really feels. After this scene, we think Cindy's with a detective, and Gail and Dewey get a call saying, hey, you need to come to this this birthday party for Roman at John Milton's house. We're going there. Dewey's like, no, don't do that. Don't do that, Cindy. But obviously, this is, I'm pretty sure, Ghostface, voice changer. It sounds like nothing, like, it sounds like Sid, but this is the most realistic use of that voice changer, even though it was still 25 years before it sounded like this. If you've ever heard, like, AI nowadays use, like, talk as somebody else, a lot of the times it doesn't really sound fluent. They don't use the same, like, speech patterns and mannerisms as, like, if I were to talk and then an AI would replicate me, it wouldn't have the same, it would have my voice, but it wouldn't have the same, like, flow, I guess, of how I speak. So this sounds like that. So this is probably the most realistic use of that voice changer. We're now in the final stages of this stuff. Roman's having a birthday party at John Milton's house. And this is obviously one big trap by Roman, for numerous reasons. It's just kind of a fucking labyrinth, so that's a good place to try to kill people. But when Gail and Dewey show up, they're obviously concerned because, like, you guys didn't invite Cindy, so why is she coming over here? They're both sussed out. I do want to mention who we have here at this final showdown. As of right now, it's Roman, Angelina, Tyson, Dewey, Gail, and Jennifer Jolie. So it's like 6 people in there right now. Roman is like, hey, I'm gonna go do some stuff. So they kind of all split up, and this is a horrible idea. Roman has Jennifer Jolie follow him, and he goes down to the basement. He's trying to get Jennifer Jolie to go down there, I think, to kill her. Jennifer Jolie's a little bit smarter than that. She's still a bit, like, iffy on him, so she doesn't want to go down there. He's in this basement with a whole bunch of props. Like, there's these bunch of, like, kind of cool looking, like, this is a cool part. I like the setting of this final scene. They use a lot of the stuff in the house to their advantage for kills and stuff, so it's pretty cool. This is another part of that. He's down there with a bunch of like, props. There's a bunch of cool props that they have, and, like, faces and stuff. It's pretty cool. I like it. Like I said, cool use of a producer's house. Roman supposedly gets attacked down there and killed, so that's the last, like, we didn't see that happen. That's the last thing we see of him before he's found. Gail and Dewey found, like, the Ghostface costume with the voice changer and all that, so now they know. So Gail goes to check on Jennifer Jolie because she doesn't know where she went. She just knows she went to the basement. She goes down there to check on Roman and Jennifer Jolie. She finds Roman dead. He's supposedly got attacked down there. He has a knife in his heart, or in his chest. So Gail checks for his pulse, and apparently she doesn't feel a pulse, so he's dead. Now, in that moment, you could get confused. Maybe you feel it, you don't feel the right spot, you don't feel a pulse, whatever. He just got lucky. You can't stop your pulse. Angelina's nuts. She's getting, like, real freaked out by all this killing shit. She's got that Sidney Prescott run down, though. We get a Ghostface 1v4. They're all kind of throwing hands with him, between Dewey, Gail, Jennifer Jolie, and Tyson. Unfortunately, Tyson's the first one to be taken out here.
Oh, you motherfucker!
He gets stabbed a bunch and thrown off a balcony. R.I.P. Tyson.
You took the mask or you stole the mask?
I took it as like a souvenir.
Don't look at me, I didn't take shit.
This next part is really cool. Jennifer Jolie is in a, like, this, like, back room where she's in a two-way mirror. So these fucking Hollywood people have a bedroom with it looks like a closet with a mirror. So, like, they can see a mirror, but it's a two-way mirror, so you can see through on the other side. So people would hide back there and watch people get it, like, oh my god, it's gross. Unfortunately, Jennifer Jolie could not get Gail and Dewey's attention in time. It's kind of a sad scene. She's banging on the glass, doesn't realize they can't see her. So hopefully in her final moments, she doesn't, like, think, hey, they just abandoned her, because obviously they couldn't see her. But I definitely think Dewey would have heard the glass like shake. It was shaking. It took him way too long to figure that out. And then he shot the fucking window slow as fuck. He should have just shot the ones that were shaking and not, all the way to the left. Maybe he could have got her. The goat dies, man. R.I.P. Jennifer Jolie. I wish she came back, man. She's so good in this movie, man. I wish she got to stick around for maybe one more movie. Just one more. Gale and Ghostface kind of get in an entanglement, and they end up back downstairs in the basement. From a fall, Ghostface got like knocked out, and Gale's trying to call Dewey to come down here. He's knocked out, but he's sus, obviously, because the voice changer thing. It could be a trap, which I don't blame him for that, but at the same time, he could just open the door.
Dewey, open the door. It's me.
Don't you think that's what the killer would say?
Come on.
Dewey gets in there and Ghostface is back up, and Dewey's out of bullets in his gun, so probably a good thing he didn't open that door. Ghostface throws his knife at him, and oh man, Ghostface throws his knife at him, and if that was anybody but Dewey, that is stabbing him through the head. It like hits him in the forehead and then bounces off and just knocks him down. So Dewey takes another tumble. That's 2 tumbles for this movie. That's a record. As far as we know, Gooey is cooked. Our main duo, Gooey. I haven't called him Gooey in this video, but Gooey is cooked. Cindy got a call saying basically, hey, pull up or yeah, your friends are dead. She puts a gun in her boot or whatever, and when she gets there, she gets a call from Ghostface, and he's make sure to use a metal detector, make sure she doesn't have a gun on her or anything. He goes down on her legs, finds the gun, so she has to throw that in the pool, which sucks. When that happens, like after she throws the gun out, Ghostface calls her inside and is like, hey, come look, your friends are in here, duh. And they're tied up, Dewey and Gale. So she goes in there and tries to get Dewey and Gale out of their restraints, and Ghostface attacks. She had another gun in her other boot, so that was cool. She pulled that shit out, shot him in the chest like 8 times. I'm begging someone to shoot him in the head. Like I said earlier, bulletproof vest, so it doesn't matter. He's like passed out on the floor. They're trying to help up, or Cindy's trying to help them, and he's gone. So that's scary. Right after Ghostface disappears, Kincaid shows up, and that's not good, because why is he here? How does he know? Where is his partner, Wallace, who I haven't mentioned up at this point, but he has some funny lines earlier. We kind of quickly rule out Kincaid. He got stabbed, so he's down for the count right now. Sydney finds herself in this room with a hidden bookshelf, so she pulls a book and it spins her around. Now she's in this hidden like theater room, and this is where we get all of our stuff, our killer reveal. I do want to mention, I don't like when Ghostface talks without the phone. I don't like, I really like when he uses the voice changer over the phone and he talks, but when he talks in person, it just feels goofy. Voice doesn't sound as creepy when it's not over a phone. He's just on stage talking to Sydney, and like in his like ghost mom attire. We get the reveal of who the killer is after a whiny baby dialogue. The whiny baby himself, Roman Bridger, is the killer. Like I said, temper tantrum of the year. The only killer so far that Cindy had like no connection, like no former knowledge of. She doesn't know this dude. He has to like introduce himself. Okay, right there, it just feels like a random attack at this point. We learn that that's not the case. He goes on this big rant about how when Marine was Rena Reynolds, she, had a kid out of one of these John Milton parties, and that was Roman. So after Marine moves back to Woodsboro and she becomes Marine Prescott, has Cindy and all that, Roman comes and tries to find her, and she turns him away and says, no, that's Rena Reynolds' child, not mine. So he's hurt, and so he starts being a fucking creep and like recording all of her affairs, like recording her getting with people. So that's how we have the tape of her with Cotton and her with like Billy's dad and stuff. He was recording all this, making a film, and showed this tape of her with Billy's dad to Billy, and this is what springboarded all the events so far. Roman shows Billy that tape. Billy gets mad. Roman kind of directs Billy and Stu on what to do, Billy what to do, gets Stu as a fall guy, this, that, and the other. So Roman has these kids kill Marine, do the bad things that they did to Marine. And Sydney is just like, oh, what the fuck? He was the reason for all of that. So Sydney, Roman, half siblings. Sydney doesn't give a fuck. This whole movie is her discovering that, like, she really did not know her mom. She did not know any of this stuff about her, and it's kind of a discovery thing for her, and this kind of wraps that up, even though it's stupid. Like I said earlier, they bring out John Milton. Roman's plan is to basically say Sydney goes crazy and kills John Milton, and then Roman puts her down, and he's the hero. But Roman just comes out, slices Milton's throat, which, best thing he did in this movie. That's charity work, honestly. Roman's being Roman, and on his little rants, they're yelling, like, Roman and Sydney are yelling at each other. Sydney's like, you kill because you want to. You don't kill for any reason. This is just, you're just doing it. You're using this as an excuse. And Roman's yelling back. So I like these lines between Roman and Sid. I think Roman's delivery is a bit lame, but it makes sense, like, the arguments they're having. Sydney doesn't know this dude. Sydney has no connection to him. So him using that as an excuse to try to kill her is just lame. It's just stupid. And she calls him out on it, like, you're doing it because you want to. This is one of my favorite Ghostface fights so far. They're just straight up boxing each other. We know that Gale and Dewey are trying to find her, but they have no idea where she's at. So Kincaid stumbles his way into there somehow. He finds the door. He stumbles his way in there and immediately gets knocked out with a chair, like fucking wrestling style. When we finally think it's over for Sydney, Roman shoots her in the chest. So we think she's down and out. He walks up, shoots her again in the chest. Roman kind of loses track of her for half a second to do something, and she's gone, just like him earlier. And it's fucking cool. He's trying to call her and find her. He does not know. He's freaking out. He doesn't know where she went. After he calls her, he hears the phone ring behind him. Sydney jumps out, stabs him a couple times, and she stabs him in the heart. Holy shit, man. So Roman is dead. She holds his hand while he's dying. This is some people don't like it. I don't mind it. I know they don't really have that connection beforehand, but in this moment, it's just kind of giving him the, like, just let him go out a little bit peacefully. Gale and Dewey get in, and they're a little late. Roman's already stabbed through the heart, but no, he's not. He survived. He got stabbed in the heart and survived long enough to get up and get shot, which is, it goes to Randy's point, and they don't ever strictly mention in this movie, besides Randy, that the killer is supernatural. Randy mentions the killer in the third movies are always supernatural, but nobody outside of that mentions it, besides here at the end.
Yeah, well, he wasn't superhuman, Dewey. He wasn't superhuman at all.
So I guess Roman is supernatural, because he just gets, like, stabbed in the heart and then survives. Dewey is just shooting him over and over and over and over and over in the chest, and I'm like, oh my god, Dewey, how many times are you gonna have to shoot him in the chest? And he's just, like, tanking these shots. He's walking forward, he's damn near pushing past those bullets. And I think that means he has to be supernatural. You can get shot in a bulletproof vest, but holy shit, you got stabbed already and you got shot like 9 times. Yeah, no, he's not surviving that. Sydney tells him to go for the head. He finally fucking shoots him in the head. He's dead. So Ghostface is dead. Woohoo! The end. It's not the end yet. After all that stuff happens, we go back to Sydney's house out in the mountains. Dewey and Gale. Dewey proposes to Gale, and that's a happy moment. They say, like, yeah, you know, we know it's not going to work out, but let's give it a shot. And then we see Sydney, who comes in. She doesn't lock the door. She doesn't set the alarm. She feels free. She's, like, kind of relaxed now. And we learn that Mark and Cade's hanging out with them. It's kind of hinted that him and Sydney are, like, together or something. But the dog's still there, so cool. Cherokee is alive. Woohoo, the dog does not die. That is the end of Scream 3. Overall notes. I do like it more than I thought I would. I don't necessarily love it, but it has some really good moments. There's a lot of moments sprinkled throughout that just give you some life. Whenever there's something that, like, you don't like, there's always something right behind it that, you know, gets you excited to keep watching. I like how this whole trilogy has just been Marine's story, kind of. Not necessarily her story, but her everything it leads back to Marine. Everything, every motive for these killers, all this stuff, it like, obviously Roman directly related to Marine, Billy, Stu directly related to Marine. In the second movie, those killers aren't directly related to Marine, but without the Billy stuff, there would be no Sydney getting stabbed stuff. Or without Billy, that Scream 2 doesn't happen. So everything it's Marine's trilogy. Everything goes back to Marine, all the events, and I'm glad that they finished that and they don't really ever go back into it. I don't think Marine is mentioned really at all in any of the rest of the Scream movies. So I'm glad they kept it was concise to this trilogy. It makes it have one big feel of cohesiveness, even if they're in different locations for all three. The soundtrack is great as always. It has its logic issues and a weak killer kind of, but I think it's still a good enough time. Other than that, I think that's all I have to say for real. Thanks for watching this, man, and I'll see you next week. We're going to do Scream 4. Low-key my favorite Scream movie, from what I remember. And, yeah, so we're going to do that. I'm kind of looking forward to Scream 5 and 6. That's what I'm really looking forward to, honestly. Those I really like. And then after this, man, I'm just ready for some more content and more comic book stuff. I feel like I'm doing a lot of movies, obviously, but I want to do some comic stuff, some manga stuff, and yeah. So I'm gonna catch y'all later. Go do some stuff. You guys don't get stabbed, and enjoy your week. Peace out. I think that's it. Yeah. Deuces.